Welcome to the CT Educator podcast. I am your host, Karina Hogan. I am a registered CT technologist with 20 years of experience and knowledge. I help new CT technologists level up their CT training so that you can become a successful technologist. I'm also a mom and committed to sharing my knowledge and expertise to help you build your confidence, know the CT basics so that you can deliver quality patient care. So let's get into it. Hello. Welcome back. Wonderful technologists. Welcome back to the podcast. Super excited to get some fresh new episodes out, get some learning on. So hope you guys are having an amazing week. It's definitely feeling like fall here in the Midwest. So it's definitely cooler. And I was looking at the news today and it looks like we're going to have our first projected snowfall for Halloween. It always puts a damper because my kids love to go trick-or-treating. So it's not fun, right? So a little housekeeping. If you guys haven't seen some of my social posts, some of my reels on Instagram, I encourage you to check those out. I have a new coaching program where I coach and mentor you for 6 months. This is for CT technologists that are new. Maybe you have a few years in and you need to really hone in on your CT skills so you can be the go-to CT tech in your department, where you can walk in, take a traveling assignment, go to another hospital, and be ready to scan on day one. So it's an awesome program. So let me kind of give you some details as far as what you get when you join my program. So it's 6 months. So I coach you and mentor you for 6 months. Okay. What you will get is you will get a self-online portal. So it's a course portal. It's on demand where you can access courses that I go ahead and teach at any time, any day, any hour at your own pace. I also have the CT Blueprint ebook that is included in the program. I have many downloads where it comes PDFs, guides, you name it, I have it. The slides for all the courses you get absolutely free. Those are all awesome bonuses. Also, what you get in this program is you get Slack coaching. So Slack is a channel where you can come in, you can ask your questions, whether it's in CT, confidence, mindset, whatever it is, and you will get coaching from me 5 days out of the week and just feel that extra boost of confidence. Ask me or your peers any questions and you will get coached from me. Also, what you will get is in the program, I will drop 4 live trainings. So it'll be 4 trainings every week. So you get 1 training a week on a different topic, a different exam, a different everything in CT, just to make sure you keep tip top of your skills. Now, all this is packaged up at a price of $5,000. I do have a payment plan also, so don't worry, okay? So if you're interested in joining the CT Educator program, the link is in the show notes to apply to the program. As soon as you apply, you get accepted, you will have immediate access to the course portal, and then we will start in November with coaching. Okay. It's really exciting. I'm very excited because I will teach you all my skills and also make sure that you're registry ready for the CT registry. Okay. So get your butts in the program. I'm taking 10 spots. So get in on all the action. Now, if you need like a starter course, I have a couple starter courses too. I have a lower ticket program where it's 90 days. It will get you up to speed. If you are a brand new technologist, you are cross-training, it will get you up to speed so that you feel confident in your training and you will be ready to operate at that console, knowing your basic exams. Okay. So I have a lower ticket program. It's $1,500. Take payment plan on that as well. So there's a payment plan for that as well. So all the links will be in the show notes. So if you need 90 days so that you can be ready to scan and ready to go with your basic exams, join that program. Okay. So That program is called the CT Blueprint. So it's the same name as my ebook. You will get that ebook also free included in that program. Now, in that program, I will drop one live training a month for 3 months. And so you can hone in on those skills and be confident in just pursuing your CT training. Okay. So that's 90 days in that container, self-paced portal. So it's on demand. So make sure you get in on that action. Now, let's say you just need the CT basics. You just need a course to kind of get you started. I do have the CT basics and concepts course. So that is $350. So you can access all that stuff in the show notes. Make sure you click the link below. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started on today's episode. So in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about mastering the basics, what they don't teach you in your CT training. Now, I know in my podcast, I constantly talk about your CT training, talk about, the basics. It's because those things are super important. And as a new technologist, especially if you have 0 experience or 3 years experience, these are concepts that are so important. So when you are new and you are training in CT, you have to have those foundational skills that are often missed and not properly taught during the training process. So you need those foundational skills, like that foundation. It's just like a house. House needs a foundation to, be lived in, right? So they start out with the foundation before they build the rest of the house. It's the same thing in CT. You need to have a foundation of skills so that you can be a very successful tech. You can feel confident when you're scanning your patients. You can educate your patients. You can communicate with them and execute quality exams. So I'm going to give you a few foundational skills and pieces that I implemented when I was training as a new tech. Okay. So the first skill that you need to know is learn how to center your patients properly. I talk about this on every podcast episode because I want you to remember this, get it in your brain, and learn it. Use that laser light. Do not play the guessing game because guessing is only going to increase the dose to the patient, or you're going to miss important anatomy and your exams are going to look like shit. So please make sure you learn how to center the patients properly. Use the laser light properly. If the person that you're training with doesn't know how to do it properly, get somebody else. Okay? Second foundational piece that you need is set up your CT room for success. So what do I mean by this? Make sure your room is stocked, review your schedule for the day, communicate with the prior shift as far as exams that are still pending, still, waiting to be done. And make sure that your tube warm-ups and your QAs are completed, okay? Make sure you have everything you need before you start interacting with the patients, start getting those exams done so that you are prepared and you don't have to scramble and just be all over the place. The next thing that I so drill into everybody's brain, and I think it's so important, carry a notebook and write things down. Listen. Your brain cannot handle the capacity of exams and the capacity of things we do in CT. You need to remember CT is a very high demanding, high capacity department. You are not going to be able to remember all that information, so write it down. Don't be ashamed to carry a small notebook. I did for the longest time. I could probably pull out mine for you right now. Anytime that I've ever worked at a new hospital, I always carry a small notebook because sometimes their protocols are a little bit different and my brain can't remember everything, so I write it down. Write that information down, okay? The next thing, learn your core exams. So what do I mean by your core exams? These are exams that are done daily, they're boring, and we're just tired of looking at them. So your core exams is your CT of the head without contrast, your PE study, and your abdomen and pelvis with contrast, whether it's with contrast, without contrast, your abdomen and pelvis in general, okay? Those are the few core exams that we do daily, and I know they can get kind of boring. Learn how to execute these exams correctly because you do a lot of them and you need to know how to do them properly and execute them properly and make sure you get quality exams. Now, the last foundational piece that I think is super important, especially when you're working in CT as a new technologist, is contrast media. Please educate yourself on how to spot allergic reactions and what to do, because that is super important. Even though we do not get a lot of contrast reactions in CT, they're not too often seen. Make sure you know exactly what to do and what is the protocol when the patient has either a mild reaction or a moderate reaction or a severe reaction. Also, check your IVs properly for safe administration. That is very, very important. Make sure you flush those IVs, power flush those IVs, and make sure you check them. As long as you're not doing an arterial study, make sure you check the site as the injection is going to make sure there's no infiltrations to the patient. Okay. So those are the foundational pieces that I have for this episode. These are super important, especially when you're working as a new technologist. So you need to implement these foundation pieces and these skills so that you can be a successful technologist. Well, that is what I have for you guys today. So I hope this was super helpful. And also make sure you check out the show notes. Come join my program. Get in on all the other programs that I have. If you're interested in being a guest on the CT Educator podcast, there is a link to a form where you can fill it out. Come on the show. We can chat about all the CT things. Okay. Also follow along on Instagram at the CT Educator, where I post reels and educational stuff on there. And I talk about all the CT things. So hope this episode was super helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening. I'll chat with you guys next week. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you would like to share your CT experience, have an interesting story to share, or need help in your CT training, please email me your questions at contact@thecteducator.com. Follow along on Instagram at the CT Educator, also on Facebook at the CT Educator. Don't forget to like, share, leave a 5-star review, as this will help support the show and it'll reach all of you that need guidance. Thank you for listening and happy scanning.